Okay, page 6. So this is a recap of what it's going to look like. We've got this piece with some diagonal openings, and then there's another opening here, and it does that. So you reveal a secret little thing, message or whatever. And this is going to be glued down. Then this will open. These dots indicate swing tabs. There's going to be a swing tab here, one across here, and then one holding this flap. So that opens, and then that opens to the side, and then that opens like that. Okay, so let us get our pieces together. Alright, the pieces, measurements you will need for this one. Okay, your A piece will measure 8.5 inches by 6.5. You need two B pieces measuring 4 inches by 3.25. Your C piece is 6.5 by 3. Your D piece is a small piece of designer paper. I'm using one of the cards, a Tweedledum and Tweedledee. You'll need one E piece measuring 6.5 by 5.25. Your F is 7 by 6 3, and your G piece is 4.25 by 3.5. Okay, so we'll begin. Get those back in order. We'll begin with our A piece. Get your scoreboard. Okay, score piece A at 2 1/8, 6 3/8 along the 8.5 inch side. Okay, and then we will fold on those score lines. Okay, and then take your two B pieces. Actually, we don't even need the scoreboard anymore for now. Set that aside for a second. Okay, your two B pieces, you need to mark the centers. So we know it's 4 inches across, so we need to make a mark at the 2 inch, and then we know it is 1 5/8 vertically. So 1 5/8, which is right here. Okay, so that is the bigger dot is your center dot. So then we take our ruler and draw a line from that center dot to the corner. Okay, and you need to do that with both of your B pieces. So 2, oh, where's 2? 2 is right there. And 1 5/8 is right there. Okay, so this is your center. So draw a line from that center to the corners. All right. And you are going to be cutting out this triangle section. So get your scissors. Okay, so cut out those sections. Now this is what is going to be opening when your card opens. This is what opens to reveal your secret message or, you know, secret piece of paper. And now you're going to need to score these B pieces at a half opposite where you've just cut. Okay. Alright, now we need to apply score tape to both of these pieces. Where's my score tape? Okay, we'll miter the corners. And we are going to be adhering these two pieces along on the outside of the score. So the very edge is going to go right here on the score line, along, like right on the side of the score line, and this is going to go right, it's hard to hold it, so right there and there, so on the outside of the score line as opposed to in the center. Okay, I don't know if that's showing up very well. So right here and here. Okay. So first we need to apply our patterned paper to these three sections. So cut out some patterned paper. I've got mine here. I was going to put that in the center, and this is going to go on either side. Okay, so let's get that down first. Where's my gun? Make sure you're not going over the score lines. I was just about to. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, so right in the center, that centerpiece measures just a bit over 4 by 6 1/4, and then these two side pieces are should be 6 1/4 as well, or by 6. Oh, they're a little bit shorter. Okay, well, let's roll with it. Okay, one on one side and one on the other side. Okay, so once you have those on, then remove the backing from one of your B pieces. It might be easier to put it on in the unfolded position. So we're going to try and center it, and we're going to put it right up to the score line but not over it. Alright, and we'll do the same with the other B piece. Now you want to make sure that these are lined up. Now you want your B pieces, you want one of the flaps to go on top and the other to go on the bottom. So one corner on top, one corner on the bottom, so they close properly like that. And we're going to add our patterned paper right in the center there. Okay, so when it's open, that's what's going to show. So we'll put some adhesive on that piece. And get those into the position again. Alright, and now PC we're going to cover with some Tyvek or duct tape. So let's cut a piece of Tyvek to match this size, which is, what did I say, 3 by 6.5. So 3 by 6.5 piece of Tyvek. Score tape on the back of that. Okay, so add your patterned paper to your C-piece, and then with a low tack tape, like a washi tape or something, put your die cut on, and then we'll run it through the die cutting machine. Add foam tape to the top and bottom of your die cut piece. And we will remove the backing. And now we're just going to adhere that right on top. Like that. And now we've got our secret little door. Alright, our next step. Okay, now take your E piece and score at half and at 4 3 along the 5 1/4 inch side. Apply your score tape to each of those 1/2 inch sections. And miter your corners. And now you're going to draw a line from the corner of one score line to the corner of the other score line. Okay, so there's the score line right there. So right from the tip of that to the tip of the other score line, and then you're going to cut on this line. So I'm just going to use my paper trimmer for that. Okay, and now bring in your card again, and these fold on your score lines. You might have to trim a little bit from the bottom here. And now these are going to sit like that and like that on your card. So adhere those down. And the other one to the other side. Excellent. And there we go. Now we can add our pattern paper. Okay, so I'm going to add a piece of pattern paper right here. And then I'm going to add this. I feel like it needs a magnet closure. So I'm going to glue this half onto here. And then I've got a magnet in between the chipboard and this. So let's adhere that magnet. So a piece of score tape on top of the magnet. And we'll place it where we want it, right about there. Okay, now we'll add glue to just the half of this. Got some glue seeping out. Of course, when do I not have glue seeping out? I always seem to add too much glue. Now we will add our other piece of patterned paper to this side. Excellent. Okay, now let's add our pattern paper to the front. I've just taken a piece that is the same size as this whole card, which is what was it again? 4 1/4. 4 1/4 by 6 1/2, and then I literally just sliced it from corner to corner. So we'll add that, and then we will put our swing tabs on. First piece. And the second piece. Alright, now we can add swing tabs. So I'm going to use a couple more of these clock hands. I just got these from Michael's, by the way, if anyone's curious where they've come from. So we'll do one up there and one down here. So right about there looks good. So let's make a mark. And punch a hole. And put her through. So there's one. And now we'll do one down here. And I find it works best if they actually go underneath like that. So that's what I've done. And then we can now add the patterned paper to these pieces here. Not helping, buddy. Zuri seems to know whenever the camera turns on because he right away has to be in frame. Okay, so there is that section done. And now we can bring in our other pieces. So bring in your scoreboard. Okay, so both of your F pieces you are going to score at half along the 7-inch side. And your G piece you are going to score at half along the 3.5-inch side. Okay, and now you can set your scoreboard aside again. Add some score tape to those 1/2-inch sections. And then miter the corners. And fold on the score lines. And bring your base page back in. Make sure you got it going the right way. Your F pieces will go to the left and the right of the base page. So remove the backing from the score tape. And there's one. And the other one. And then your G piece is going to go on top of the right F piece. So remove the score tape backing and kind of, so it's right to the right edge, and kind of line it up top to bottom. Excellent, so that's what you have so far. And now we are going to add our patterned paper to this top piece here. Okay, alright, so let's adhere this piece down. So you'll need 4 pieces this size, and they are 6.5 by 6.5. So 4 of those. So we are going to, I'll just adhere this one first, and then we will add a swing tab. Okay, so now there's going to be, oh, I need to put your pattern paper on this one, and I need to change my tape in my ATG, so I'm just going to quickly do that and be right back. Okay, so I've got my glue back in order, so I'm going to use one of these cards here. Okay. Alright, now we need a swing tab, so I'm going to use one more of these clock hands. I think I can get away with a shorter one. Let's mark where it is. Let's put this on there so we know where it's going. Right about there. Okay. So now let's take a pen or something and make a dot. Alright, now let's punch a hole. Is it going to quite reach? Not quite. Okay. It's my only issue with the crocodile is it's got such a narrow, can only go in an inch and that's it. Anything more than an inch and you got to do it a different way. Okay. Get your brad. Stick it through the hole, which is not yet big enough. There we go. Okay, now is that brad too big? Is that overpowering it? Ah, no, it's okay. Open the tines. There you go. You've got your brad there. We can adhere this onto the front now. So let's use some liquid glue for that. Excellent. Push that down. While that is drying, we can add the other half of our flap here. I'm going to use that card there. Excellent. Okay, open this up. Now we can add our center pieces. So I'm going with the painting the roses red now. She's almost meeting the queen. I tried to go as much as I could in the actual order that Alice met all the characters. Although I was surprised that in all the digital downloads that I got, there was only one image of the Cheshire Cat, and he was one of my favorite characters, and I was shocked that I didn't have more of him. But that's alright. I mean, he's a cat, so I love cats. I wanted there to be more Cheshire Cat. And then we've got the cards on either side. Is that the right way, or is it this way? It's this way. Is it? Yes. And the last one. right, we are done with page 6. Woohoo! So there we go. So now we are going to, I don't like that little bit poking out there. I might try and do something about that. I'm not quite sure what. Just trim it a little bit anyway. So now we can put this aside, get your new base page, and we will begin work on page 7. Okay, the beginning of page 7. So I'm just going to quickly show you what it will look like. We've got a pocket here, and it opens to the side, and then that opens to the side. These go up and down, and again to the side. Alright, so we will set that aside. We're going to get our pieces out. Your A piece will measure 8 inches by 6 3/4. Your B piece is 10.5 by 7 1/4. Your C piece is a hinge, 1 inch by 5 3. Your D piece is 7 3 by 6 3, and your 2 E pieces are 6 by 4 3/4. Okay, so get all those cut out, and we'll grab our scoring board. We will start with piece A. Piece A, we are going to score at half along the 8-inch side. B will be scored at half, and 6 3 along the 7.5-inch side. So half and 6 3, and then you're going to turn it so that it's on the 10.5-inch side and score again at 4 3/4. Grab a new base page. This is your last base page. We are going to add some score tape to the 1/2-inch section of A. And we're going to miter the corners. Crease on the score line, and adhere this down to the left hand side of your base page. Okay, grab your B piece, and we are going to cut away this little section here and here. Okay, so you've got the shorter side here, so you've got this is a 4 3/4 mark, so this is the shorter side, so you're going to cut these 1/2-inch sections completely away. Okay, so let's do that. You can use your paper trimmer as well if you'd prefer, or scissors, either way. Okay, so get rid of those. Now you should have something that looks like this. Alright, so now we are going to add score tape to these 2 remaining 1/2-inch sections. And miter the corners as usual. Okay, fold on this score line here, and make a little mark even with the top of where this folds up to. Okay, so we're also going to cut out these little sections just to make it even with the top. Okay, and now, sorry, I should have waited to miter these two corners. They can be done now. Now we can fold in these two flaps. And remove the score tape backing. And then fold this piece up to create your pocket. And if you want to, you can corner around these or do a decorative edge, or whatever you desire. Okay, bring your scoreboard back in, set the pocket aside for a second, and we'll score the other pieces. So your C piece will score at half on the 1-inch side. It's going to be a hinge, so half lengthwise. Your D piece will be scored at half along the 7 3/8 side. And your E pieces will score at half along the 4 3/4 side. Okay, so both of your E pieces, half along the 4 3/4. Alright, set your scoreboard aside. And we'll add our score tape to those sections. And of course, miter the corners. And get those out of the way and fold on all your score lines. I'm not sure where my bone folder is. Where's my bone folder? There it is. Alright, so first take your C piece, your hinge, and we are going to adhere it to the back of your pocket. So you want your pocket to open this way. So we are going to attach our hinge so the opening's right there. I've removed that part of the score tape. So it's going to go right on. When you flip the pocket over, it's going on the left-hand side. Okay, so this is the back of the pocket, left-hand side, and it's opening like that. Now remove the rest of the score tape backing, and we will adhere it to the right-hand side of piece A, centered top to bottom. Okay, so now you've got that, and now we are going to adhere piece D underneath. Okay, so it's going right onto the base page, but it is going even with your whole AB section. Okay, so there is an inch of base page showing. Okay, so this is your D piece with an inch of base page over here, so it's even with this whole section. Okay, and now your E pieces are going to go on the top and bottom of your D piece. Okay, so remove the score tape from one. You can measure it if you like. I'm just going to eyeball it like I usually do. So one to the top of piece D. Piece D is the flap that's going like that. And then the other E piece goes to the bottom of piece D. So line your E pieces up so they're even. And there you go. So we are going to add, I'm going to add a swing tab right here. And I'm going to add a swing tab right here. And I was going to put a swing tab here, but I think it's going to be too thick. So, okay, let's start adding our pattern paper, and I'm going to figure that out as we go. Okay, I think I figured out what I'm doing for paper-wise. So I'm sticking with that, the blues and the blacks and a bit of the kind of tan vintage look to match page 6. So I'm going to start adhering down some things to the pocket. So I've got a 4x6 card, but it wasn't quite big enough for the pocket, so I'm also doing a little strip here. And then I'm matching the strip up in the pocket section. And just kind of sliding that in a little ways. And I haven't got tags yet for the pocket. And I haven't got tags. We will be making big tags eventually for these big pockets. I just haven't done that yet. I tend to wait until the end for that, because then I know how much paper I have left and whether or not they're going to be fully matted or not. So that's the reason I do those at the end, because they're going to be quite big, so I want to make sure the pages have paper first, and then the large tags at the end. If I have enough paper to cover them, I will. If I don't, then I'll just figure out some kind of something. Maybe just do a little, just the pull-out part of it will be pattern paper, so we'll see. Okay, get this one down. I've got a little bit extra glue here that I don't want. Or adhesive, not really glue, but okay. So that's down. And I guess we can do this one as well. Okay, so this one, it's a little crooked. That's better. Alright, fabulous. Okay, so now we want to do a swing tab holding this shut. Alright, so I'm going to, I've cut out this little thing that says this way and put it on chipboard. So I think I'm going to put that right here. And alright, so I'm going to cut a hole in my swing tab, and I'm going to figure out exactly where I want to put it. So right about there. So I'm going to make a mark on my paper. I think this might stick up, so I'm going to add a magnet underneath it, which means that I should not have put this piece on. So I'm going to try to get this piece back up. I'm having pretty good luck, actually. I think I've only had one issue getting something up. It's because I haven't been pushing it down, I guess. Alright, so let's add a magnet to our swing tab. I'm going to cover the back of this swing tab with cardstock so the magnet doesn't get caught on anything. So I'm just going to cover it. And then we'll recut this. Okay. So we've got our magnet in behind there, and now we just need to recut this, repunch this hole. Alright, now we need to grab another magnet and figure out where it's going to go on the page. So grab a second magnet and let it adhere to that one. Put a little bit of score tape on it. And line this up with the hole that you've marked. Where is it? And push that magnet down. There we go. Perfect. Now we can add that piece of paper again. Maybe let's put a little bit more adhesive on it now. Put that back down. Alright, and now we need to punch a hole right here where we've marked it. Not your finger, Katya, just the paper. Okay, and get our swing tab and our brad and punch that through. Put your brad through. Open the tines on the other side. And there we go. So we've got our swing tab. Excellent. Now, let's see, what are we going to do over here? I'm just going to put a little ribbon pull, I think, here. I'm going to cut a little piece of ribbon and get my score tape. Okay, a little piece of score tape on it, fold it over, and now we will put another piece of score tape on the edge of it. And remove the backing if we can. And we will adhere this to okay, so we've adhered that to the back of the page. Now we can add, it's not centered though, maybe we should center it. Right about there? Okay, perfect. Now we can add our patterned paper. We are going to add a magnet right here. So we're going to have to put it fairly close to the edge. I don't usually like doing that, but because we're attaching it to D, the magnet to A and D here, and there's not a lot of clearance. Alright, so we've got a magnet, 2 magnets right there. We're going to close up the flap. Now I don't think I said that in the tutorial that I was going to have a magnet there. I think that was just a spur of the moment decision. We do, however, in the tutorial, the PDF part, have a magnet attaching D to the base page. So let's quickly do that. And then we can add our patterned paper and our last swing tab. Okay, page 7 is being very grumpy about being filmed. First my camera battery died, and then as soon as I had it charged, I ran out of room on my card, so I had to erase a bunch of stuff from the card. Anyway, so I'm back. And so we've got our magnetized swing tab right there. We have got our little pull tab, ribbon pull tab. We've added a magnet attaching A to D, and I've just added a magnet attaching D to the base page. So now we are going to add a swing tab on the 2, what are they, E flaps? Is it E? Yeah. So let's add a swing tab there. So where did my swing tab go? There it is. Alright, so we're going to have a swing tab right here. So I'm going to punch a hole in the swing tab. And figure out where I want it. I'm going to go about like that. Make a little mark in the paper. And then punch a hole there without punching my fingers this time. And get a brad. Open our tines. All right, and there we go. So now let us add the rest of our patterned paper. We've got patterned paper there. So now we just need to do it to the inside. So I'm going to be putting, which way are we doing it? This way. So let's add this piece. Come on. Alright, so this piece right here. And now my stripes, I didn't have quite enough room or quite enough paper, so I'm going to be adding a couple little border strips here. Wow, I really went out of the lines with my ATG gun on that one. Alright, so let's adhere this strip down. And we can put patterned paper on this part. And another one down here. So these 4 pieces for your, what is it, E-flaps, will be 5 3 by 4. And the center bit. The centerpiece is 7 by 6.5. So you can close those up and then open it this way. And this is going to go in the center. This one is 7.25 by 6.5. And then we're going to mirror this other side. I'm sorry if you can hear my tummy grumbling. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. I work nights, so I tend to do my crafting in the mornings, and I have not yet eaten breakfast. Wanted to get this page done first. So there's that, and then the other little strip. All right, there we go. We are done with page 7. Now we're going to flip it over and start page 8. I think I'm maybe going to get some breakfast in my belly so you don't hear my stomach rumbling anymore, and I'll be right back.